Hello everyone! Today I would like to introduce my new book called The Terrible Chenoo. Chapter 1, Noises in the Bushes. Long ago in North America, there lived a man and his wife. One autumn, they decided to go on a hunting trip. They left their tribe and traveled far away to the northwest. When they found a clearing in the pine forest, they set up their teepee. "We will stay here for the winter," the man and his wife agreed. Every day the man went off to hunt. While he was hunting, his wife prepared the meat so that they would have lots to eat during the long winter. All went well for a time. The weather was fine, and there were plenty of wild animals to hunt. The husband and his wife were happy. One breezy day, while the man was hunting, the woman went to gather more wood for the fire. Suddenly, there was a whoosh. The woman heard a sharp whistle of wind. She felt an icy gust on her face. There was a strange rustling noise in the bushes nearby. The woman looked up, and what she saw was terrible. A monster was staring and glaring at her. It was an evil Chenoo. He was as old as earth. He had eyes like a starving wolf and sharp-pointed teeth like a bear. His cruel heart was colder than ice. It thumped in his chest like a booming drum. The Chenoo had traveled from the far north. He had flown on the frosty wind, and the long journey had made him hungry. Very hungry. In fact, he was starving. What he wanted was a bit of nice, juicy meat. The woman trembled all over with fear. Chapter 2, The Woman's Clever Plan. The woman was very afraid, but she was also very clever. She was clever as a fox. She did not want to be the Chenoo's next meal, so she thought of a plan. She dropped her firewood onto the ground and threw her arms around the old Chenoo. She gave him a great big hug. She pretended to be surprised and happy to see him. "Father," she cried, "what a wonderful surprise! How well you look, and how good of you to travel all this way to visit us." Then he took a step backwards and looked him up and down. A puzzled look crossed her face. "But what has happened to your clothes, Father? You must be frozen, though. Come into the teepee and warm yourself up." And chattering away, she took the monster's hand and led him out of the bushes. The Chenoo was very surprised. He had eaten plenty of people before. Usually they screamed or tried to run off or fainted before he gobbled them up. But this woman did none of those things. The Chenoo was so surprised that he forgot all about eating the woman. He followed her like a kid into the teepee. Then she let her dress him in a deerskin shirt, leather trousers, and a fine pair of moccasins. Soon he was wrapped up as snuggle as a baby in a papoose. "There now, Father, isn't that better?" asked the woman. "I'll just go and collect some sticks to build up the fire. With a good bright blaze, your old bones will be warm again in no time." The woman scurried out of the teepee, but soon her knees were trembling again because the terrible Chenoo picked up an axe and followed her outside. "Oh dear," said the woman. The woman exclaimed, "He is going to chop me up." Chapter 3. Stop chopping, Chenoo. The Chenoo held the axe and followed the woman outside, but he did not chop her up. Instead, he began to chop down the tall forest trees. He chopped and he chopped. The huge pine trees toppled easily around him. It was as if he was just cutting down blades of grass. The woman watched in wonder. Soon the Chenoo had chopped down half the forest. Finally, the woman shouted, "Enough, Father! We have enough wood now." The Chenoo stopped chopping. He did not say a word. He began to pick up the fallen trees and pile them neatly behind the teepee. Just then the woman saw her husband coming. He was walking in and out of the trunks of the fallen trees. He looked around in amazement. Quickly the woman went over to him. She wanted to talk to him before the monster saw him. She told her husband what had happened. So when the husband walked up to the Chenoo, he knew just what to say. Chapter 4. Something strange happens. "Father-in-law," he cried, "how kind of you to travel all this way to see us. I have caught enough food today for all of us. We can have a splendid meal while you tell us the news from home." The Chenoo stayed silent. When they all sat down to eat, the husband and his wife were still terrified of the monster, but they ate well. While they ate, they chattered about their tribe. They gossiped about this and that. They wondered what their family and friends were doing. Were they all safe and well? The man and his wife offered the monster fresh meat, dry pumpkin, and hot corn coffee. But the Chenoo did not eat. He just listened to their talk. Slowly, a gentle look appeared on his terrible face. He had never had a family or any friends. Chenoos attack each other whenever they meet. They would scream and screech angrily. Their bodies would grow huge until their heads touched the clouds. They would fight for days and days. The sky thundered on earth, shook with screams. The noise was so terrible that you could hear it 1,000 miles away. The people in the south would lie awake at night with their teeth chattering, listening to the terrible noise. The winter of the Chenoo's battle would leap into one of the strong winds that blew through the land. He would fly off to find another monster to fight or a terrible, trembling human to eat. But something very strange happened to this Chenoo as he listened to the man and the woman. he had welcomed the Chenoo into their home. They had given him clothes and offered him food. His heart danced for joy when they spoke to him gently and called him Father. He could not believe it. The monster's icy heart was warmed up by their kindness. All his cruel and violent thoughts disappeared. He stopped wanting to eat people. There and then, he decided that he wanted to stay with them for the rest of his life. Chapter 5, Friends Forever. The Chenoo lived with the man and the woman from then on. They were surprised, but soon they were not longer afraid of the monster. In fact, he no longer seemed to be a monster to them. He was very friendly and helpful. He helped the man to hunt wild animals, and he helped the woman to chop firewood. Soon winter came. The snow was too deep to hunt, so the Chenoo helped the man to make new arrows. He also helped the woman to make new clothes. The woman and the Chenoo sewed beads and porcupine quills onto the clothes. In the long winter evenings, they all huddled by the fire under thick blankets. The Chenoo made up magical stories and told them to the man and his wife. The man and the woman began to love the old Chenoo. The Chenoo was like a true member of their family. When spring came again, the snow on the pine trees melted and the river thawed. The man and the woman prepared to return to their tribe. The Chenoo went with them. He carried the teepee on his back and walked along with huge monster steps. As they went further and further south, the Chenoo's steps got shorter and shorter. He became weaker and weaker. The warm spring air in the south took his strength away. The woman and man begged him to return to his home. However, the Chenoo had changed too much to go back. Besides, he had promised to stay with the man and the woman forever. So he walked on. As they got closer to the man and woman's tribe, the Chenoo was too tired and too weak to walk, so the man and the woman carried the old Chenoo between them. When they reached the tribe, all the people gathered around the monster in wonder. His face had once been terrible to look at. Now it was peaceful, so the people were not afraid of him. In fact, everyone did their best to help the Chenoo. But he was old and tired, and the warm southern air was wearing him away at last. This frozen heart thawed about completely. The Chenoo died, but he died the happiest Chenoo in the land. He had found something that no other Chenoo had found before. He had found true friendship. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Bye!